All right, and we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your favorite wrestling fan here, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday night live on the GSMC Sports Network. 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain calls, all the rumors, all the drama. We talk about superstar and active statuses and injury updates, superstar contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings. We talk conspiracy theories. We talk absolutely everything in terms of the world of professional wrestling, from promotions like New Japan Professional Wrestling, from promotions like the WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, AEW. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show, 1,010%, so don't be afraid. Absolutely feel compelled to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. All right, without further ado, we have TNA Impact, we have Ring of Honor, and we're going to talk about it, and my light just flickered. I don't know if any of you guys noticed that, so hopefully, the power doesn't go out. I would lose the light, but you would just see, with like a blue face, it'll be all dark. So I can't have that. Obviously, I will keep you guys up to date if anything happens in terms of losing power. It's raining like cats and dogs out. It's raining like cats and dogs outside. But, we're here to give you guys the best wrestling content possible. All right, so as of last night, we are 8 days away from TNA Sacrifice. Make sure you guys, subscribe to that TNA Plus if you guys want to watch it. It's also going to be on Access TV in the U.S., and if you're in Canada, it's going to be sports. It's going to be a Sportsnet 360, so make sure you guys, check it out. So Elijah makes his TNA singles debut against Brian Myers of the System. Obviously, what you found out later on in the show, that Santino Marella, the director of authority of TNA, has made the 5-on-5 match at Sacrifice a steel cage match, which is pretty badass. I don't know how that's going to ultimately be. Are they going to be like standing on like the side of the cage, or they're just it's gonna be like one big cluster, of wrestlers inside the squared circle, with the cage surrounding it? I would like to see like a Hell in a Cell kind of thing. That would be pretty cool. I don't know if they're gonna do like a War Games kind of thing. That would be electric. That would be cool to bring like a War Games feature to TNA Impact. But my guess is probably like a tornado tag match. But if it's a tornado tag match, 5 dudes, that's 10 people inside the ring right there. It's I don't know if any of you guys have experienced Los Angeles traffic on the 91, the 405, the 5, or the US 101 during rush hour, and it's just like, it's not really fun. Like, you have just traffic, too much bodies, man. But I don't know how they're gonna do it. I'm pulling through I'm hoping for like a Hell in a Cell thing. That would be pretty cool. But hey, we'll find out in 8 days. So it was Elijah, picking up his first victory in TNA. Elias, if you guys don't remember Elias or Ezekiel, I don't know if that whole thing was actually like true. But I gotta be honest, I'm a huge fan of Ezekiel more than Elias, because WWE doesn't stand for Walk with Elias; it stands for Walk with Ezekiel. I'm just kidding, no. But no, I thought that was a little wonky. But back then WWE, that was pretty cool. So it's I'm just happy to see Elias somewhere, because he was impressive in WWE. He was at the cornerstone in his career where he was actually going to be a babyface. But then he went back to being a heel and stuff like that again, and it was just kind of made no sense. I like Elias more as a babyface than a heel, so I feel like TNA's doing it better than. G. Miller interviews Ace Austin and the Rascals, who are poised to prove that they can coexist against the Northern Armory. The trio is set to face NXT's Wes Lee, Tyson, and Tyreek at Sacrifice. Wes Lee, I love Wes Lee on TNA. I want to see him be an X Division champion. That's just me. That is just me. AJ Francis and Casey Navarro host the second episode of the First Class Penthouse, featuring their special guest, Casey Navarro. After defeating Navarro last week, Steve Macklin interrupts and picks a fight with Francis. So, you might get those guys against each other in the future. It'd be kind of crazy if they set up for Sacrifice, but, it is what it is. Next, we have Savannah Evans defeating Zaya Brookside. Zaya Brookside continues to look, impressive, but Savannah Evans was able to kind of pick up the dub over here. And then, of course, you had the whole thing with Rosemary lurking in the rafters and keeping her relevant. I'm happy that they are doing that. And then Ash by Elegance as well on TNA Impact. Jody Threat and Danny Luna. Looking, I don't know who's going to face them next. I've kind of, I want them to face Ash and Heather by Elegance once again. That would be an amazing match. They have great chemistry, all four of those ladies together. But then Danny Luna and Jody Threat, I love myself some Spitfire, man. I gotta be honest, they're great. They're great to watch. Mike Santana continues his reign of excellence and success in TNA by defeating John Schuyler with Jason Hotch. But Mike Santana is the future of TNA. And then we did get a match. We get a match between Steve Macklin and AJ Francis. Francis with Casey Navarro defeats Macklin, which is good for Francis. He is a great heel. He is a great face in that kind of heelish, could be a heelish champion. But he had a shot at, I think he fought Nick or Joe. But no, he had a shot at the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, did not capitalize. But, and then you had a massive confrontation between all the competitors with the NXT champion, Oba Femi, with the system. And then you got Joe. You have, just this amazing, absolute brawl that happens on TNA Impact. The next you see an NXT tag team champions, Fraxium, who have a message for the Hardys heading toward Roadblock. I love Fraxium. 1,010%. I feel like since at Roadblock they're going to be fighting for the TNA World Tag Team Champions, that you're gonna continue to have Jeff and Matt Hardy being portrayed as the best tag team in WWE and just in wrestling history. And I can't really dispute that. I know that Jeff Hardy has kind of had his struggles in the past, and I know that whenever Jeff Hardy makes it to the WWE, which I feel like he probably will. Once again, whenever you see the Hardy Boyz on NXT, like what happened last Tuesday, is you just see how ecstatic he is, how so excited he is, and you see how he interacts with the WWE universe. You hear how he is on the mic, being proud to be back in the WWE ring, praising NXT as the future. And I know Jeff Hardy, I know it irks his soul that, he got a couple of opportunities. He got chance after chance after chance to, the clean up and kind of set it straight. I know when in terms of substance abuse, it's not easy. It's not easy 1,010%. So I'm just hoping that, everything that Jeff Hardy's going through right now, it's good for his mental health. Hopefully, his struggle abuse, it's getting easier. It's getting better for him. Honestly, hope nothing but the best for the Hardy Boyz, and the ovation that they got on NXT was pretty badass. At first I kind of thought to myself, I was like, man, I do not want to see the Hardy Boyz whatsoever win any kind of championships on WWE once again, because they are kind of getting old. But the way the WWE tag team division is right now on Raw and SmackDown, SmackDown, they picked it up. Ever since the Motor City Machine Guns came to SmackDown, then you have Pretty Deadly being taken seriously. Then you have the Street Profits finally starting to take their place in terms of the tag team division. They should have been champions years ago. Then you have DIY, and of course you have Los Garza. But, on Monday Night Raw, maybe the Hardy Boyz could also, make that division as well, prestigious as well. I ultimately kind of thought during the transfer portal I would see Nathan Frazier and Axiom debut on Monday Night Raw. I thought they were ultimately going to lose their titles over and over and over and over and over again, but they kept delivering. They kept being, successful, kept being that fast pace. Absolutely, they were dominant. There was a couple chances though. That Briggs Inumura title shot, it was a doozy, and it was pretty great. But overall, I want to see the Hardys and Fraxium. I'm super excited for Roadblock. Next, we have the Northern Armory. The team of Eric Young, Judas Icarus, and Travis Williams defeat Ace Austin and the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. Santana once again, confronts the director of authority. Once again, the face of TNA, future of TNA, to be honest. About having to take a drug test. Marella admits that it's ridiculous, but says that Ali went above his head to the Anthem head office. Meanwhile, Tasha Steelz is seen berating one of Ali's lackeys about a coffee, and that gives Santana an idea. I gotta be honest, I do like Mustafa Ali. He was one hell of an X Division champion, but I would like to see him come to NXT. That'd be pretty badass. I would love to see him, like I said, reclaim the NXT, to reclaim the X Division Championship. X Division, NXT, maybe that X is like messing me up a little bit, but he's gonna be great. He's gonna be great, and now that he kind of has this mantra of like a Chelsea Green, like the cabinet, you know what I mean, like. I don't know. I just hope it works out for him so far. It seems like it's been, working for him. I know he recently signed in, a deal with TNA, but it'd be interesting to see if he comes back to WWE. Next, we have the personal concierge breaks out Ash and Heather by Elegance after they were forced to serve Spitfire for 24 hours. Next, you see the Knockouts World Champion Masha Slamovich address her upcoming title defense against Cora Jade at TNA Sacrifice. While speaking, Cora Jade comes out, then Tessa Blanchard starts kicking ass, and then Cora Jade starts to intervene as well on behalf of Tessa. But then you saw Lei Ying Lee make the save. Blanchard and Jade leave. You'll probably get maybe like a tag team. It's kind of like a tag team match for the future. It would be pretty badass. Tasha Steelz informs Mustafa Ali that Mike Santana has passed his drug test. That's pretty awesome. Ryan Nemeth reminds the world that his big brother Nick Nemeth will return to TNA in 8 days at Sacrifice. All right. In the main event, you saw the TNA World Tag Team Champions, the Hardys, defeat pretty soundly, but the Colognes, they're all right. Eddie and Orlando, but then you had that chaos erupt in the Impact Zone, and then that's when you had Santino Marella come out and make the tag team championship match a steel cage. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to find out if they kind of have a Hell in a Cell or like a traditional steel cage. But I guess it's been the first cage match in TNA since 2019. So that's pretty cool. But I am rooting for not the big heads here. I am of course rooting for Joe Hendry and Matt and Jeff Hardy. But I want to see Elijah. I want to see Leon Slater kind of fulfill their destiny to be future pawns in TNA. Like I said, I love myself some Mike Santana. I love AJ Francis and what they're doing right now. But, you need a new face of the X Division. Like I said, I'm not by all means like Dog and Moose. He's a well-deserving, he's a fighting champion, but he's not really X Division championship status. I would rather see that title on Leon Slater being the babyface within the division, and then you would have somebody like Mustafa. You would have Mustafa Ali be like a total heel, like if that makes any sense. So, can't wait to find out what happens at TNA Sacrifice. I don't know if any of you guys heard that, but we had a huge lightning strike. It sounded like super freaking close. Maybe my power will go out. But let's try to knock these out. God, that scared the crap out of me. That's crazy. Anyways, moving on. So we have the Ring of Honor Club 106. We had Athena defeating La Catalina to regain the women's world, to retain the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. I gotta be honest, when I read that, I was kind of afraid. I was like, dude, when did Athena lose that championship? I don't know anybody in this division right now that can defeat her. I was high on Billie Starkz. I thought Billie Starkz had a shot, which she defeated Milo. I'm not sure how she likes to pronounce it, but Billie Starkz once again finding herself in the one column, maybe building up some momentum to get that rematch against Athena for that Ring of Honor World Women's Championship. But I definitely hope that's the future. Jay Lethal and Sansom Singh with Sanjay Dutt defeat Flex McCallion and Richie Slade. Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, the Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara defeats John Cruz and Ulumide in a non-title match. The Beast Mortos defeats Sonico. Thunder Rosa defeats Brittany Brooks. That's good for Thunder Rosa. I know recently on AEW Dynamite she was in a predicament. She was in this weird altercation between Penelope Ford and the new heel, essentially on Dynamite in the women's division of Megan Bayne. It was a little bit of a weird altercation, but I'm glad to see Thunder Rosa getting back into that win column. Bandito and Gravity defeat the Infantry. Gates of Agony defeated Bad Dude Tito and the Che Cabrera. Blue Panther Jr. and Dark Panther defeated Euphoria, Grand Guerrero, and Valiente. So, good episode of Ring of Honor. Great episode great episodes for both. I didn't mean to seem, like I was kind of, separating the two. So make sure you guys check out highlights. Make sure you guys, like I said, subscribe to Ring of Honor, Honor Club, TNA Plus, so you guys can get some weekly video. Like I check out highlights. I check out, definitely. Well, I do check out highlights, and then I like to have kind of ultimately the results in front of my face. So, you kind of skim through, and you're like, oh, that happened. Oh, that happens. That's why sometimes when I pause, I'm like, oh, I better mention that. Oh, I better mention that. Just for me, it just makes sense. It's a system. It's a system. But can't wait to watch some more of Ring of Honor and TNA Impact. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about the WWE Hall of Fame. We have 4 already. We're going to find out if we're going to get 2 more, maybe even 1 more. Usually in the class of, of WWE, I think it's usually like 5 or 6. So we're going to talk about maybe a couple of possibilities of people who can be immortalized and become part of this WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 25 seconds. So, hey, do not go anywhere.